news is the rating has come out for this game that Shedeur Sanders made his debut in. And some people are like, it was 3 times higher for the Hall of Nielsen, the Sporting News on X. 2.2 million people tuned in to see Sanders play for the Browns against the Carolina Panthers last week. All right. Now, a couple of other things to note. The Hall of Fame game, no other.
I said before last college season started that Shedeur Sanders should go number 1 overall. It was either he or Travis, 1, 2, 2, 1, and I would go every time with the quarterback because he is the quarterback. He is him. He is the son of the greatest cornerback and, to me, the greatest athlete ever.
Man, nobody saw this coming. The NFL just got hit with a shockwave so wild it woke the whole league up. Not a single analyst, scout, or self-proclaimed expert saw it coming. They all swore they had the draft locked down. But then, Shedeur Sanders stepped onto that field for his very first preseason game on Friday night like he already ran the place. He didn't just show up, he straight up took over, proving the league dead wrong for letting him slide all the way to pick 144. And check this out, 2.2 million people tuned in to watch. Yeah, 2.2 million. That's not just solid for preseason, that's number 1 on TV that night. He beat out shows stacked with big budgets and major celebrities. And it wasn't even a big holiday weekend or a primetime Sunday slot. It was a random Friday night in August when most folks are out chilling or deep in a Netflix binge. But not this time. Everyone was locked in, glued to their screens, because suddenly the whole world wanted to see this rookie everyone had already counted out. And here's the craziest part. Shedeur wasn't even supposed to play. He was buried on the depth chart, sitting at 4th string, barely getting any reps at practice, treated like a name you'd forget on a clipboard. Coaches looked at him like he was just another body filling space. But that night, he flipped the script and made the entire league realize, this kid's the real deal. Then everything flipped out of nowhere. Injuries hit Kenny Pickett and Dylan Gabriel, and just like that, Shedeur Sanders got thrown straight into the fire against Carolina's first-team defense. This wasn't some soft matchup. That defense is loaded with veterans ready to test any rookie brave enough to line up against them. But instead of breaking under pressure, Shedeur stepped in cool, calm, and fearless, like he'd been waiting his whole life for this very moment. Most rookies would have panicked under that kind of spotlight. Most 5th-round picks would have just hoped to hit a few clean passes and make it off the field without looking nervous. But Shedeur Sanders isn't built like the rest. Friday night made that crystal clear. He walked out there and instantly changed the whole story. Not just for Cleveland, but for the entire draft class that let him fall all the way to pick 144. Like, how do teams pass on a talent like that and sleep easy afterward? Now everyone's realizing Cleveland might have landed a quarterback who's actually confident, composed, and ready to lead for real. Sports media couldn't stop replaying it, reminding everyone that preseason games usually stay under 2 million viewers, with NFL Network averaging around 1.89 million. But when Shedeur took that field, those numbers shot up like fireworks. The NFL Network, local Ohio stations, streaming apps, even Buffs fans everywhere tuned in all at once. It felt less like a preseason game and more like a primetime showdown in the middle of summer. If you're feeling this story, hit that subscribe. But let's talk about why this game turned into straight-up must-see TV. This was Shedeur's first real taste of NFL action without Coach Prime calling the shots from the sideline. And now, he's out there grinding for a spot in Cleveland, a team stacked with quarterbacks like they're collecting them the way Jennifer Lopez collects engagement rings. The moment fans saw that Sanders' name stitched across a Browns jersey, curiosity exploded. Even before kickoff, reporters could feel it. Headlines were already calling it the most-watched preseason matchup before a single snap went down. Then Shedeur hit the field and played like he'd been doing this for years. Calm, focused, and smooth through the chaos. He went 14 for 23, tossed 2 touchdowns, picked up nearly 20 rushing yards, and walked away with a clean 106.8 passer rating.
What you wanted to see. I want to see, could he play with poise? Could he throw the ball with conviction? Could he be decisive? Could he go through his progressions? The pocket collapses. Could he take off? He showed me some of everything. The over route, threw it on timing, guy in his face, led him, boom, dropped it right in the bucket. He fit those balls, pressure in his face, the second touchdown, pressure in his face, the first touchdown, the corner slumps off, the flat, the safety is hugging him. He fits it in, gets it in, boom. On the move, the touch pass over the top. As I mentioned at the top, the receiver did make a great play. But Shedeur had a nice lock. That's not an easy throw to make. He was impressive tonight.
That's not just solid, that's statement-level play. If that stat line dropped in a regular season game, fans would have lost their minds. But seeing him pull that off in August, when expectations were low, made it feel 10 times bigger. Viewership kept climbing all night, turning what was supposed to be a basic preseason matchup into a full-blown event. Suddenly, everyone cared about the Browns' quarterback battle, something that hasn't happened in forever. And honestly, the Browns being this interesting, that's rare. And Shedeur made it happen. But here's where things get even crazier. After that breakout performance, the buzz around Shedeur Sanders didn't slow down. It exploded. Sports talk shows couldn't shut up about him. Clips from the game flooded social media, and even former players started dropping comments online saying, "This kid's got it." Suddenly, everyone wanted to know, was this just a lucky night, or is Cleveland sitting on the next big thing? Inside the Browns camp, the energy completely shifted. Coaches who barely looked his way a week ago are now whispering about giving him more reps with the starters. Reporters at practice said Shedeur showed up with that same calm swagger, moving through drills like he already belonged. No nerves, no hesitation, just pure focus. It's like he's playing with something to prove, showing every team that passed on him exactly what they missed. Meanwhile, the fan base is losing it. Browns fans, who haven't had much to get hyped about in years, are suddenly flooding comment sections, begging the team to give Shedeur a real shot. Some are even calling this the start of a new era in Cleveland football. And you can't ignore the numbers. Jersey sales are starting to spike, highlights are trending, and analysts are saying this might be one of the biggest preseason storylines in years. From being buried on the depth chart to becoming the talk of the league overnight, Shedeur Sanders just flipped his entire narrative. It's wild to think that one random Friday night in August might have just changed everything, not just for him, but for the whole Browns franchise. And just when people thought the hype might cool off, Shedeur Sanders turned up the heat even more. The next few practices became full-on events. Fans showing up early just to catch a glimpse of him throwing lasers across the field. Every pass he made had the crowd buzzing. Every drive looked smoother, sharper, more confident. Reporters said even the veteran players were starting to nod in respect, whispering that the rookie might really be that guy. The media couldn't get enough either. Sports networks ran highlight reels back-to-back, comparing his poise to some of the league's biggest names. Analysts who once called him a long shot started walking back their takes fast. They're saying things like, he's got NFL composure way beyond his years. And fans, they're eating it up. Social media is stacked with posts, edits, and clips calling Shedeur the biggest surprise of the preseason.
Currently available in 51.1 million homes. So that's where you're seeing the big ratings difference. I mean, one's available in 70 million more homes, damn near it. All right. So, yeah, that's going to make a massive difference. If this game would have been on NBC, Fox, ABC, and I'm talking about Shedeur's debut, and had they had it to do over, they probably would have gotten it on there. I mean, if they realized it was going to draw that kind of a rating on NFL Network, I mean,
What's wild is how quickly everything flipped. Just weeks ago, he was a fourth-string quarterback barely getting reps. Now, he's the center of Cleveland's football universe. The coaches are clearly paying attention too, giving him more snaps, more responsibility, and more chances to prove he's no backup story. And let's be real, this isn't just about one player. It's about what he represents, a young, hungry quarterback who refused to let people write his story for him. Shedeur Sanders came in quiet, but left the field with everyone talking. Fans, coaches, the whole league. The question isn't if he'll get another shot, it's when. Because after what he's shown so far, it's clear he's not just chasing a roster spot, he's coming for the top spot. Now here's where the story hits another level. The spotlight on Shedeur Sanders isn't just about football anymore. It's turning into a full-on movement. Everywhere you look, people are debating what this means for the Browns, the draft, and even for how the league judges young talent. One preseason game, and suddenly the narrative around this kid flipped from maybe practice squad material to future franchise QB. That's wild. Behind the scenes, insiders say the Browns' locker room feels different too. Players are rallying around him, feeding off his energy, and talking about how calm he stays no matter what. That type of confidence, it's contagious. Coaches have started giving him deeper play calls, letting him run more of the offense, a huge sign that they're starting to trust him, and trust doesn't come easy in the NFL. Meanwhile, fans can't get enough. Tailgate talks, podcasts, and fan pages are all centered on one name, Shedeur. Some are even calling him the spark Cleveland's been waiting for. And honestly, they might be right. The craziest part? We're still talking about preseason. If this is how big the buzz is now, imagine what it's gonna look like when the regular season kicks in. Everyone's watching to see if he can keep this same fire when the games actually count. But based on what we've seen so far, Shedeur Sanders isn't just trying to fit in. He's out here rewriting what people thought a rookie QB could do. And if he keeps moving like this, the whole league's about to find out. This story's just getting started. Nobody's pulled something like this off since Jim Brown. Not even Drew Carey could get Cleveland this fired up. Fans had every reason to lock in because this wasn't just another preseason game. This was a look at what could be the future face of their whole franchise. And it wasn't just Ohio tuning in either. Buffs fans, college diehards, and even casual viewers who usually skip preseason football all showed up on NFL Network for one electric night. It's rare, real rare, for a single player to create this much heat in August. But Shedeur's debut didn't just feel like a game. It felt like a crossover event between college football passion and NFL-level pressure all rolled into one. The question echoing everywhere was simple. Can a Shedeur-led offense really work without Coach Prime running the sideline? The speed, the stakes, the spotlight, everything hit a new level, and the hype around him was insane. Celebrities, athletes, and fans couldn't stop talking. A quick scroll online told the whole story. People weren't just watching, they were living every snap, reacting to every throw like it was a playoff moment. Then the stars started chiming in. Dez Bryant blasted out, "Let's go, Shedeur Sanders," and Reggie Bush tweeted, "Give the people what they want."
Did you grade your performance today?
I would say a C plus.
C plus.
Yeah, it's passing. It's passing because we got the win. You know, that's first and foremost, and that's extremely important. But you know, Pop said, you know, take advantage of the opportunity, and I don't feel like I did. So you know, I feel like I let him down a little bit. But on the team behalf, I feel like I ran the offense pretty well. I feel like I got to my decisions, and in some things I could have done better, and different process where I could speed my feet up. So, you know, I'm just thankful for the opportunity. I'm happy, you know, we won. Yeah. But it's definitely still time to go to work.
The timelines went wild, filled with fans saying things like, "We'll all be tuned in," and calling it the most watched preseason game ever. And this wasn't just Cleveland fans hyping it up. This was nationwide. Everyone was watching, everyone was talking, and for one night, Shedeur Sanders owned the football world. Even LeBron James had to tap in. He jumped online and posted, "That young man looking good out there. Keep going up, head down on the grind, and head high to the most high." When the king of the city co-signs your debut like that, you know it's official. The world just took notice. But here's the coldest part of it all. Shedeur Sanders wasn't satisfied one bit. After tossing 2 touchdowns and helping lock in the win, he had the nerve to say he didn't feel sharp enough, that he should have been cleaner out there. That wasn't some fake humble talk, that was pure competitor energy. That's someone who knows this is just chapter 1 of something way bigger. While everybody else was celebrating, Shedeur was already locked in on what to fix next. That's real championship DNA, the kind you can't fake. And his performance? Straight up poise under pressure. His first touchdown was a 7-yard laser to Caden Davis, threading it perfectly between 2 defenders, like an action scene where time slows down and the hero makes the impossible shot. The crowd went crazy because it didn't just look NFL ready, it looked NFL elite. And those scouts who once doubted him, yeah, they were probably sweating watching him work. Then came the second touchdown, a tight 12-yard dart, low and precise, right where it had to be. Every throw screamed control. Every play showed maturity beyond his years. For a so-called rookie project, Shedeur Sanders looked more like a seasoned pro making his mark under the bright lights.
Did y'all see about like the business side of it? He gets a percentage of everyone his jersey sales.
Oh yeah,
but everybody's buying them jerseys. And did y'all see the price of tickets for that preseason game after he announced that he was gonna be the starter?
Crazy.
Right on the shipment from $12 to $150.
And you can say it's preseason all you want to. NFL fans do not care about that. They locked in, bro. NFL fans different.
I'm just proud that he went out there and performed. He had a good game.
The clause is called Prime Equity. This clause gives Sanders a percentage of revenue generated from merchandise, sponsorships, and promotions linked to his name and likeness.
And they got an NIL in the NFL.
He's too smart.
Yeah, that's why he got picked so far back, because apparently his agents wanted this.
Shedeur Sanders closed out his night by leading a 3rd touchdown drive in the 3rd quarter. And by that point, every single eye in the stadium was glued to him. The former Buffalo standout didn't just play well. He put on a show that had NFL insiders completely stunned. People couldn't believe how smooth and polished he looked out there for a rookie making his debut. One insider even texted a high-ranking AFC North executive asking about the Browns' new quarterback, the same guy who, not long ago, was being talked about as a first-round lock. But somehow, Shedeur Sanders didn't get that day 1 or day 2 call. He sat there watching as team after team passed him up on national TV like they weren't even seeing the same tape everyone else had watched. By Saturday, Cleveland finally made the move, snagging him with the 6th pick of the 5th round, 144th overall. And now that moment already feels like a turning point in NFL history. Even the biggest voices in sports were calling it out. Stephen A. Smith went off during the draft, calling it a damn disgrace, shouting, "How in the hell is Shedeur not off the board yet?" He even compared the whole situation to Colin Kaepernick being pushed aside, saying it was a straight-up disgrace all over again. And Skip Bayless, he got even louder. After just one preseason game, he said every single team that passed on Shedeur looked flat out foolish. The craziest part? He's right. This was a player projected anywhere from early to mid-first round, somehow slipping all the way to the 5th. And now, Cleveland might have just pulled off one of the biggest draft steals in years. Now that the dust has settled, people are finally realizing just how wild this story really is. Shedeur Sanders, a 5th-round pick barely on anyone's radar 2 months ago, has suddenly become one of the most talked-about names in football. The way he flipped the narrative, from being overlooked on draft night to lighting up preseason TV, it's the kind of rise that doesn't happen often in the NFL. Inside league circles, execs are already whispering about how this might go down as one of the biggest scouting misses in recent years. Teams that passed on him are scrambling to explain themselves, while Cleveland looks like they might have struck gold without even meaning to. And the vibe around the Browns facility, completely different now. Teammates are dapping him up, coaches are smiling more, and the media's swarming every practice just to see what he does next. The thing is, Shedeur isn't letting any of the hype distract him. Reporters say he's the first one in, last one out, head down, focused on building something real. That quiet confidence, it's starting to remind people of young legends. That same, I'm here to prove it energy that turns rookies into stars. Fans can feel it too. Every highlight clip gets thousands of shares. Every interview turns into a trending moment. And when your name's being mentioned next to NFL greats before you've even played a regular season snap, that's when you know something special is brewing. This whole situation feels bigger than one good preseason run. It's the start of a story that could reshape how people see Shedeur Sanders forever. He's not just chasing a roster spot anymore. He's carving out a legacy right in front of us. And if this is just the beginning, the league better be ready, because this kid's not slowing down anytime soon. And now, after just one night of work, Shedeur Sanders has the entire league second-guessing every scouting department that ever brushed him off. Maybe some teams didn't think he had first-round talent. But let's be real, there's no world where his skill set should have lasted that long. The numbers prove it loud and clear. Most preseason games barely make a blip on TV, but this one, it felt like somebody dropped the Super Bowl right in the middle of August. And the energy around a game that technically didn't even count was unreal. And the reason was simple. Shedeur Sanders turned into a living symbol of what happens when you bet on yourself even after everyone else counts you out. That massive viewership wasn't just curiosity, it was loyalty, pride, and belief.
That game was in Carolina. The fact that in a preseason opener, you could have a 5th-round draft pick who, when he makes a completion, you can cut away every time to different groups of people in the stands wearing his jersey. His NFL jersey, not the Colorado jersey. Wearing a number 12 Cleveland Browns jersey. That is something we rarely see in the NFL.
Colorado fans who watched him rebuild their program, Jackson State fans who saw him dominate the FCS with poise instead of flash, they all pulled up to support him together like family. And through it all, Shedeur stayed the same steady force he's always been, saying, "I'm still the same guy," and keeping his focus on preparation instead of the noise around him. That calm attitude, that's what separates the good from the great. But here's the real twist. This was only the beginning. It might have been preseason, but one breakout performance like this can shake up an entire quarterback room. With veteran depth already rattled by injuries, Shedeur suddenly has a rare shot to claim his spot early, way earlier than anyone expected. In a league where most rookies get pushed aside for years before earning a chance, Shedeur Sanders just pulled off something special, grabbing national attention and rewriting his own story before taking a single official snap. This isn't just a hot start. It's the spark of a whole new era in Cleveland. Now the question everyone's asking, what happens next for Shedeur Sanders? Because after that kind of debut, there's no going back to being the rookie nobody noticed. He's got every eye in the league watching his next move. The Browns coaching staff suddenly has a real decision on their hands. Do they keep easing him in, or do they start preparing for the possibility that he might be the guy sooner than expected? Inside the building, people can feel the shift. What started as quiet curiosity has turned into full-on belief. Teammates are starting to talk about how composed he is in the huddle, how he commands respect without saying much, just by how he plays. That's something you can't coach. Coaches love his discipline, his film study habits, and how he never gets caught up in social media noise. It's all business with Shedeur, and that's why so many think this isn't just a moment, it's the start of a rise. The fans, they're all in. They've turned preseason games into must-watch TV, flooding comment sections and fan boards with messages like "Let him cook," and "He's the future." You can feel that hope, something Cleveland hasn't had at quarterback in a long time. And with the regular season creeping up, one thing's crystal clear. Shedeur Sanders isn't just another draft pick trying to survive, he's already changing the conversation. From falling to the 5th round to becoming one of the most talked about players in the country, his journey's got movie-level energy. Every throw, every drive, every snap from here on out matters. And if the way he handled his first shot tells us anything, it's that Shedeur isn't waiting for a window of opportunity. He's kicking the door open. The NFL better pay attention because this story's just starting to catch fire. Cleveland's gonna play it smart with Shedeur Sanders through the rest of the preseason. But make no mistake, they know exactly what they're holding. This isn't just some rookie trying to find his footing. Shedeur is a ratings magnet, a walking storyline, and a quarterback whose name alone can pull in millions of viewers without even trying. Cleveland finally has something they've never truly had before, a player who can grab the entire football world's attention all at once. And trust this, those record-breaking numbers, that's just the beginning. Because let's be real, 2.2 million viewers might have only been the warm-up act. Shedeur Sanders made the whole NFL look like a pack of doubters who completely misread the script. And those 2.237 million people who tuned in, they didn't just watch a preseason game, they witnessed the start of something real. They saw a 5th-round pick perform with the calm, confidence, and control of a first-round star. They watched the league get hit with a reality check so sharp it could have used a warning label. People said he wasn't ready. Critics claimed he couldn't handle the pressure. Executives decided he wasn't worth an early pick. But Shedeur Sanders didn't waste a single breath arguing back. No interviews, no shade, no social media, back and forth. He just stepped onto that field in Charlotte and let his throws do all the talking. Every pass was an answer. Every drive was a statement. This is what happens when 2.2 million people tune in to see the truth with their own eyes. And Shedeur delivered it with precision. He turned a preseason matchup that wasn't even supposed to matter into must-see TV. And he did it the only way he knows how, by showing exactly who he is, the truth in motion. If you're loving stories like this one and want to keep riding the wave with us, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you in the next one.